You say you're a man. You identify as a man.
I do identify as a man.
Why are you dressed as a female?
It's like my character. It's my job. It's like a drag queen, like man dressed as drag because I appreciate
You're
art and the
drag.
aesthetic.
You're a man in drag.
It's how I look at it. It's like my job, right? Like I show my boobs for a
But you've
living.
always looked like that.
Yeah, because I've always done that. I've been a stripper since I was 15 years old. Like I've always done it.
But don't you see that trans people have a hard time taking that seriously?
Where do you feel like you're a man? Where?
Always inside, like always in my heart. Like I've always been, when I don't want the attention, like when I go out and stuff like that, I've always felt male from a very young age. Like it's not about like not wanting to play with Barbies or wanting to only be with guys and stuff like that. It's not like that at all. It's more of just the energy I feel. Like I get uncomfortable when people, like obviously it's my job, so now I'm like, oh yeah, talk about my tits all you want. But I've always been uncomfortable if people like talked about like me as a female, referred to me as her, like all that stuff like that. It was always uncomfortable. Even as a kid, I remember not wanting to go in like the girls' bathroom, and there's no way to explain it or to describe it to someone who hasn't felt it. Like
why do you? It seems that people who are trans have what's called gender dysmorphia. Dysphoria. I'm such an asshole. Sorry. And they attempt to transition to the opposite gender because that's how they see themselves.
Not all transgenders. That's just on the doctors. And gender is not sexuality. It's not It's not what you're assigned with at birth. That's not gender. Your gender isn't what's in your pants. Just because you have a penis doesn't mean you're a male.
Right. There's gender and there's sex.
But then the fact that you're
Yeah.
trans male, it makes me think that you would want to look more like a male.
No. I like the aesthetic of a woman, but
so tell me what makes a male? What is it that makes you male? Like what does that mean?
It's just your energy and how you feel inside. I've never been a woman. I've never thought of myself as a woman.
Who do you like? Who are you attracted to?
Gay men, homosexual men. I've dated gay men.
Gay men.
Yeah.
And do you think what would a gay man see in you?
I've dated a gay man for a year and a half.
But so what does he get out of dating you? Because you don't. You look like a female and you don't have a penis, so presumably.
It's just male. It's just the male energy. Like you're attracted to a male energy. Just like I've been attracted to transgender male to female, transgender female to male. I'm attracted to everything, but I haven't been with straight women. It's not that I'm not attracted to them. I just haven't been with straight women.
And so when you have relations with a gay man, what does that look like?
It kind of depends. I've had a few relationships, and it kind of just depends. A lot of like it can be pegging for sure, but also like we've had like vaginal sex.
When you say pegging, that means you're strapping on and then going into the ass.
It could be a strap on, or it could be anything.
What else?
Anything.
Any phallic object that you've got around?
I've shoved up like cucumbers up people's butts. I've had candlesticks shoved up mine. It's just whatever.
Candlesticks?
Yeah.
Okay.
The holders, not the actual stuff.
You told me in the DMs when I asked you if you wanted a mukbang that you've already mukbang rotten pussy, so you're down to eat anything.
Did I say that?
Yeah.
When?
And you sent that to a message to me.
To you?
Yeah.
Okay, when I'm on Twitter, sometimes I'm a little drunk by myself and alone. I think I just kind of say things.
Okay.
Like when
Have you mukbanged rotten pussy?
Yeah. I'm not a fan of eating out, but I will.
What's rotten pussy?
It's not washed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not rotting, but it's just not a washed. It's fine. And some religions, people don't wash their vaginas. Like they're not allowed to for till Saturdays or something like that. I don't want to offend anyone.
Jews.
It's not Jewish. It's another religion. It's not Jewish people. It's another religion of a girl that I know, and she can't wash till Saturdays.
And that's just her specific religion. That's just her, I think. She just...
I don't know. She told me it was her religion. I'm not educated enough on religions to know this. So
before we move off the trans thing, I got an email from a fan who identifies as a trans.
Okay.
And I want to read some comments that they offered. Okay. So here's the first part. Trisha mentions no feelings of gender dysphoria, which is the medical condition that identifies someone who is transgender. If she were to go to a gender identity therapist and ask to medically transition, she would most likely be denied because she has no gender dysphoria.
Right. Well, I wouldn't say I don't have dysphoria. I hate having a vagina for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as like getting a dick, I mean, a clit is an inverted dick, basically. You know what I mean? It's not. I have a penis just like you. It's just little. I have a video from 2015 called like I have a 1-inch penis. Like I've always identified as having a penis. I do. A clit is a penis, so I feel like that's man enough. I don't need to have my full 8 inches or whatever. So I think I have a penis.
Okay, so then she goes on to say, she also mentions a weird fixation with gay men. In the past, she has been obsessed with gay men, which many find weird. This doesn't make her transgender either. It just means she is fetishizing homosexuals like a weirdo.
No, I'm dating men who are into men. Like,
But she's right. How is that not just having a weird obsession with gay men? What does that have to do with being trans?
Because I am a male. Like, I guess if I was a female that like identified as female and was like, yeah, this is my pussy and don't fuck me in the ass and all this shit like that. Like, yeah, but my stimulation comes from the P spot, it's not a G
So
spot.
you're a trans male, but you're a trans homosexual male.
Yes. But I've dated straight guys. I've dated gay women. I've dated transgender women. I've dated transgender men. I've done it all.
Mm-hmm.
So I've never dated straight females. And I think they're more, I wouldn't say judgmental. It's fine if you're not into what I am. But a lot of straight females want penetration from an actual elongated penis. Mine's just tucked in.
Mm.
Yeah.
I can see that being an issue, although I see that. Okay, let's not get semantical. She goes on to say, her explanation of being transgender is wildly incorrect, and she should not be considered a representative of the transgender community at all. She continues,
Okay.
It hurts me to see Trisha talking about choosing your gender when you cannot, in fact, choose it.
Right.
Your gender is with you since birth. It cannot be switched or changed. The reason transgender people are transgender is because their gender doesn't match their sex. If I could change my gender to female to match my female sex organs, I would do it in a heartbeat because I would no longer have gender dysphoria.
Right. Well, first and foremost, I don't want to be a transgender representative at all. And that's why that was my issue with going on anything talking about it. Because that's not, even doing that video, the reason I did that video is because I met someone at one of my shows in Toronto who was male to female, and he looked like a boy. He didn't wear skirts, he didn't wear makeup, nothing. Because he couldn't afford it, but he's like, I can't afford to even wear a denim skirt, but I'm still a female. And I was like, that's so weird, because that's exactly how I felt too. So I shared my story just thinking like, oh, I'm just gonna, because everyone comes to my shows like, you help me. So I'm like, I'm gonna just share my story. And that email, I respect it 100%. I get what that person's saying. I totally get it. I'm not trying to like convince anyone. But on the flip side of that, I've gotten so many messages of like, I feel the exact same way of male to female, female to male, who are like, haven't fully transitioned, but they feel female. Because when I was just on the doctors, like I said, the doctor on the show said like, when you're in the womb, there's all these chromosomes actually like floating around. Like, in fact, you could be male. Like, it could hit you. Like, it could be male and you come out genetically female.
So you are
But you don't care about looking like a male.
I don't care about it. I think maybe later on in life. Right now, this is kind of my thing. It's how I make money. It's like, so for me, I don't care about looking like a male. I like the aesthetic of a woman. Like, I've always thought that, even like naked. If I go to a strip club, I'd rather see a female stripper than like a male stripper. I just like the aesthetic. But if I want to fuck someone, it's usually like I want to be either like fucked in the ass or like with a male. Like, but I will totally like be with females too. That's what I'm saying. Gender and sexuality are not.
You prefer to be fucked in the ass.
As of lately, I was always scared of it because I thought it was like a gay thing to do. You know what I mean? And then like lately, I realized
that's what you are.
That's where I get the stimulation. And I just recently found out that I was like, oh, I actually get more stimulated through anal.
Interesting. What do you think?
I don't know how to say it PG. I don't know. I don't want to get demonetized.
It seems completely unrelated to
the gay thing.
Yeah, right.
But I just wonder what's the point of all these labels, because it's like, if I can get this straight, so you identify as a man, you're a drag queen, so that means you can dress like a female, but you're also a gay man, which means you can have sex with dudes.
Right.
But it seems like in a weird roundabout way, you're just trying to justify that you're that you are actually a female.
To justify it? No.
Or just to explain how you have sex with guys and you look like a female.
Sounds to me like you're just a female with a strong personality.
It's hard to explain. No, I don't like being even referred to as like female, but I get that's what I look like, and I get that's what my thing has been online.
I guess it's hard to understand. It's a very new territory we're on.
I just don't feel comfortable with being a female.
So should we really say he?
Should I refer to you as the? My guest is he is a YouTuber.
That's fine. I think for me, it's like.
But isn't that confusing to the audience? They're like, wait, what?
I think of it like this, right?
You look like a.
When Courtney Cox got married to Dave Arquette, she was Courtney Cox Arquette, right? So you could switch it, but a lot of people when they get married, they keep their name. You know, they don't change their name. Jennifer Aniston was never Jennifer Pitt. She's Jennifer Aniston because that's what she's known as. So for me, I was been known as she all this time for 13 years on YouTube, and I'm like, okay, to change it now, be like, actually call me him. That's totally fine if people prefer that, but like for me, it's not. To me, that's not a big deal. Like you said, I I don't think labels is a big deal. And even my coming out wasn't a big deal because me being a male shouldn't be a big deal. I'm still the same
Well,
person.
it is a big deal, though.
But why?
For a lot of people, it is a big deal because they, unlike you, are uncomfortable with the way they look. So if it was me, for example, I would want to look like male. And
Right.
to make that transition is very hard, and you get a lot of
Yes.
judgment. So you are lucky that you're okay with your looks, but they are not. And then for you to come out and say I'm transgender, it kind of like cheapens their struggle.
But why? Because it's me. I'm not talking about anyone else. This is my story and my journey and my struggle that
Because-
I've had my whole life. And it's awful to live as a male like
you
this.
don't have a problem with being referred to as she,
Right.
And you don't have a problem with how you look. So you don't
I
really
do.
have.
I have very many issues. I've had many
I mean,
surgeries.
No,
she
as
means
female,
with
as
with the
female.
gender.
I do.
And we're talking
I do.
because you said that you're okay with your look. You don't care about looking like
I'm not
men.
okay with it. I'm not ready to change because this is how I make money. Like I get made fun of all the time. You talked about it. My tits, my vagina, everyone roasts me on Twitter. Like it's one of those things. I'm not okay with it, but it's how I make money, so I put it out. It doesn't feel good to hear that about my vagina and how my tits and shit being fucked up. It is.
Well,
it's
that's
fucked up.
different.
No, but I'm saying my
I'm not
point is-
saying. I'm
gender
not saying
thing.
if you're happy
Right.
with your look.
I'm not. I've
not
changed my
saying
look.
that. I'm not saying that though. That's different. I don't like how I look. That's different.
Okay.
I'm talking about you being okay with looking like a female
But I'm not-
versus wanting to look like a male.
That's not what I'm saying though. Like my job, YouTube, Patreon, all that stuff is me looking like a female. Do I love it? No. Do I want to look like a male? No. I don't know. I don't know what that entails in the future.
So
But to-
for most transgender people, it's a lot more crucial fight throughout their life than this.
Caitlyn was 60 when she transitioned into the female aesthetic. So her whole life she's invalid to be a female just because she looked like Bruce Jenner. Like it's not to say that is kind of ridiculous.
well,
like I can transition whenever I
So
want.
she
if I'm
came
60
when
or-
she came out
You
as
can.
trans. She also transitioned to female.
at 60. So maybe at 60 I will.
But I'm just explaining to you why the video that you made had such a backlash because
But it's my story. I'm not saying, hey, if you're transgender, like you should be uncomfortable. Like you know what I mean? I get it. There's a lot of transgender people who are not uncomfortable with
think
their
they
birth
just-
body. I've
it's
met.
almost like you're
Let me-
just kind of like taking the easy way out and kind of being transgender because it's cool.
It's definitely not because if anybody dates me, like let's say I'm a straight female and I only want to date guys, if they look up and see that I'm transgender, do you know how many men are turned off by that? So many men even ask me to this day when I go out with them, like, you're sure you're not a man? Are you sure you weren't born a man? Like, that's so gross. There's so many trannies on Bumble. Like, that's just the reality of it.
But you
You
are a
mean that
man.
you weren't born with
Right.
a penis?
Yeah, that I wasn't born with a penis is what they're
Oh.
saying. Because they're like, there's so many transgender.
But they saw your vagina and they still ask you that? Or
No,
they
I'm
didn't see
saying
you naked?
beforehand, like when we're on dates, because my point is a lot of people are transphobic. Me coming out transgender is not going to help my dating life. It's not going to. Why would I put that on myself to hurt? I'm trying to date. I'm trying to get married. Why would I put that out there just so people can look up that I'm a transgender if I truly don't believe that?